This is the second video of section R.2. This video will cover order of operations. So for order of operations, you've probably heard the acronym PEMDAS. But to me, this acronym is a little bit misleading, as it only talks about parentheses, but there are more than just parentheses that are included in order of operations. And then multiplying and dividing, it leads you to think that multiplication comes first. Same for addition and subtraction. It leads you to believe that addition is always first, but that's not the case. So if you're going to learn this, you need to learn what else goes along with it. Alright, so really, instead of just parentheses, it should be grouping symbols. That includes parentheses, square brackets, absolute value bars, fraction bars. Alright, so if it is a fraction, you want to work the numerator and denominator separately. Alright, and then you're going to use the rules that are listed below, alright, within each set of parentheses. So what you'll do, if there are multiple grouping symbols, you want to go all the way to the inside, as far inside as you can go, and then work your way out using these rules. Alright, so we'll start with the innermost set of grouping symbols and work our way out. If no grouping symbols are present, you're going to follow these steps. So the first one will be to simplify all powers and roots. So that's going to be like square roots, cube roots, so on and so forth. And then you're going to do any multiplications or divisions. And the key here is in order. So you always start on the left and work your way to the right. So whichever one comes first, multiplication or division, that is the one you will do first. If division comes before multiplication, when working from left to right, you do it first. And then the same thing goes for step 3. You want to do any negations, additions, or subtractions. And these are also in order, working from left to right. So always starting on the left side, moving to the right, just like if you were reading a book. Alright, so some examples of using the order of operations would be like this first one here. So according to the steps, alright, we don't have any grouping symbols, so we're going to start with step 1, and we're going to simplify all the powers and roots. Alright, well there aren't any roots, so we're going to simplify the powers. So looking at 2 to the 5th power, that's 2 times itself 5 times is 32. Alright, I don't see any more exponents, so I'm going to go ahead and bring down all the other items here. Alright, no more exponents, so we move to the next step, which is to do any multiplication or division, starting on the left and moving to the right. So as I start on the left, I first run into multiplication. So 3 times 9 is 27 minus, alright, I got to get all my multiplications and divisions completed before I could do any subtractions or additions. Next would be 32 divided by 4, which is 8. Then that leaves the last thing to do would be 27 minus 8 is 19. Alright, example part B. I have some parentheses, so I'm going to take care of those first. So 30 minus 5 is 25. Then I like to bring everything down so I can keep up with what I'm doing when I look back. No more grouping symbols. There are no roots or powers. So I'm looking for multiplication or division, starting from the left, moving to the right. So first I encounter 25 times 3, which is 75. Then I encounter 75 divided by 15. Alright, and then lastly I'm going to add 5 and 7 to get 12. Alright, looking at the next page. Alright, these two examples have fractions in them. Alright, so we're going to look at the top, then look at the bottom. So we'll apply the rules to the top, the numerator, and then apply the rules to the bottom. Alright, so looking at the numerator, we have a power, 2 to the 4th power is 16 minus 11. Leaves 5. Alright, then in the bottom we have 9 minus 3 times 2, so remember multiplication comes first. Let's see if my camera can decide how it wants to focus. Alright, so we'll say 9 minus 6, and that leaves 3. And then 5 over 3, you can't simplify any further, so 5/3. Alright, next we have another fraction, so I'm going to look at the top first. Negative 7 squared. Remember when we looked at exponents earlier that when you put this in the calculator, this would be negative 49. So it means the opposite of 7 squared. And then we have minus and negative, so that would become plus 9. Negative 49 plus 9 leaves us with negative 40. On the bottom, we have 6 times negative 3. And then negative 1 times negative 2 makes positive 2. Right, when I subtract those, I get negative 16. So in the bottom, there were no exponents. So then I moved to multiplication and division. So I took care of the multiplications in order from left to right. When I multiply negative times negative, I get positive, or you could have said minus negative 2, which would have still been positive 2. Right, then I can simplify these. Let's see. What can I simplify them both by? 8. So negative divided by negative is positive. Dividing by 8 would give me 5 halves. Alright, now what we're going to do is evaluate some expressions using order of operations. So what we're going to do is take, and everywhere there's an x, we're going to put negative 4. Everywhere there's a y, we're going to put 3. And everywhere there's a z, we're going to put negative 6. And let's just try this for a few of these. So we'll have 6 times negative 4 squared. So in x's place, we put negative 4. In y's place, we're going to put 3. And in z's place, we're going to put negative 6. Alright, so we have, evaluating using order of operations, negative 4 squared would be 16. Alright, then just bring all the other items down. Now I have 6 times 16. I'm going to mark that one out. It's 96. 5 times 3 is 15. And negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. Now I just have some addition I need to do. So that'll be 96 plus 15 will be 111, 119, 129, I believe. Alright. Then, and you can verify that with a calculator. I didn't punch it in there, but let's see. That's 33 minus 4. Okay, yeah. Alright, now on this one, we're going to skip letter B. Don't worry about that one. Alright, and then for C, we're going to put negative 4 in x's place, and 3 in y's place. Z will do negative 6, and x is negative 4. Alright, now remember, when it's a fraction, you want to do top first, bottom second. So looking at the top, we have negative 4 over 4, which will simplify to negative 1. And then plus 3 over 3 is 1. Alright, and negative 1 plus 1 is 0. On the bottom, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. And then negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Minus negative 2 becomes plus 2. So right here we have minus negative 2 becomes plus. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. 0 divided by anything other than 0 is 0.